Kia ora. Thank you very much for that introduction, Robbie, and welcome everybody. So on behalf of the U.S. Embassy, the U.S. Consulate General here in Auckland, our partners, the Auckland Pride Festival Trust and Unitech, welcome to what I hope is going to be an excellent weekend, and we've got a great program planned for you. The conference was conceived to empower and energize all of the people sitting in this room, the future leaders of this community. There's about 100 of us gathered here today to exchange ideas, to learn from each other, to collaborate, and to compete, which I'll get to in a moment. I think you'll find that very exciting. The Embassy's participation in this weekend's events is a reflection of President Obama's commitment and leadership in many areas of concern to the LGBTIQ community. In 2011, President Obama issued a memorandum directing all foreign affairs agencies, including the Department of State, for which I work, to promote and protect human rights of LGBT persons. In his memorandum, he stated, and I quote, "The struggle to end discrimination against lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender persons is a global challenge and one that is central to the United States' commitment to promoting human rights." The memorandum elevated LGBTIQ issues to the highest priorities in terms of U.S. foreign policy. It's very significant. The President's directive also set forth policies to protect the vulnerable, to protect those criminalized for LGBT status or conduct, to protect refugees and asylum seekers. It also mandated that American diplomats must respond in a swift and meaningful manner to human rights abuses of LGBT persons and engage international organizations in the fight against LGBT discrimination. As part of that effort, the United States is providing foreign assistance to groups that protect human rights and advance non-discrimination. For instance, the Global Equality Fund. This was launched by then Secretary of State Hillary Clinton back in 2011. Supports civil society groups working to advance the human rights of LGBT persons globally. Through the fund, the United States has already provided critical emergency and long-term assistance to promote and protect the human rights of LGBT persons in 25 countries, and that number is expanding. Other governments around the world have since followed our example. They're lending their support to the fund, and the invitation to participate remains open for future supporters. In September of last year in New York at the UN General Assembly, our current Secretary of State, John Kerry, led the effort, which for the first time brought together foreign ministers from around the world, NGO representatives, and the UN High Commissioner for Human Rights to advance the cause of LGBT individuals. Just this morning, two openly gay athletes, figure skater Brian Bortano and hockey player Caitlin Cahow, led the United States presidential delegations at the opening events of the Sochi Winter Olympics, which sent a clear message that the United States values the civil and human rights of LGBT people. The U.S. delegation to the Olympics represents the diversity that is the United States. It also sent a clear message that we fundamentally disagree with the misguided and hateful concept that anyone needs protection from LGBT individuals or from those advocating the human rights of LGBT individuals. I think the message is very clear to those who organized the event. So here in New Zealand, the U.S. Embassy has sponsored American films at the annual LGBT Film Festival. We've screened a documentary about American LGBTIQ rights movement, two members of Parliament here in Wellington. And we facilitated discussions about marriage equality, and also one of our staffers here, Tubai, who many of you met, part of her job is to work with various communities throughout New Zealand, including the LGBT community. Now, I think we've got, as I said, we've got a great weekend planned from you, and over the course of the conference, you're going to hear from a number of accomplished speakers who will not only broaden your perspective of rainbow community issues, but will help you turn your ideas into strategies for action. Now, here's the exciting part where I was talking about the competition, and it involves money which could come to you, so pay attention. I want you to use this weekend's experience to start thinking about a post-conference project, one that will enhance the rights and status of LGBTIQ persons. Your project can be anything from a small event to a social media campaign. It could respond to a community need, like access to information on support programs, or it could raise community visibility by commemorating Pride Month, the International Day Against Homophobia and Transphobia, or anything you feel strongly about. You can work alone or in groups. You'll have a chance to refine your project when you meet with Pleasance tomorrow morning. And at 11 a.m., again tomorrow, you or your group will pitch your ideas to a panel of speakers. And as part of the U.S. Embassy sponsoring that event, we'll come up with $6,000 to $10,000, depending on the scope of the project, as an award to get the project started. So there's money in it for you for the best project. So for now, start looking around the room for possible partnerships to put this in action. Start leveraging opportunities. Test run your ideas and ask for feedback from your speakers and others in the room. So may the best project win. Enjoy the rest of the conference. Thank you very much.